जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय धव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय माधव कुंज विहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रेमराजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत इस डिवाइन ग्रेस से श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रेमराजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा द्वारका धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। भक्ति देव तुलसी महारानी की जय। गंगे माय जमने माय की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, verse number 45. Chapter entitled Questions by Vidura. Tasya prapanna akhila lokapanam avasthitanam anusasane sve अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्तां सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते तस्य प्रपन्ना अखिललोकपानाम् अवस्थितानामनुशासने स्वे अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्तां सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते तस्य प्रपन्ना अखिललोकपानाम् अवस्थितानामनुशासने स्वे अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्तां सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते तस्य प्रपन्ना अखिललोकपानाम् स्थितानामनुशासने स्वे अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्ता सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ति तस्य प्रपन्ना अखिललोकपानाम् अवस्थितानामनुशासने स्वे अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्तां सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते तस्य प्रपन्नाम् अखिललोकपानाम् अवस्थितानामनुशासने स्वे अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्तां सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते। माताजी। तस्य प्रपन्ना अखिललोकपानाम् अवस्थितानामनुशासने स्वे अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्तां सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते तस्य प्रपन्नाम् अखिललोकपानाम् अवस्थितानामनुशासने स्वे अर्थाय जातस्य यदुस्वजस्य वार्तां सखे कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते। Word to word translation. Tasya, his, prapanna, surrendered, akhila lokapanam, all rulers of the entire universe, avasthitanam, situated in, anusasane, under the control of, sway, own self, arthaya, for the interest of, jatasya, of the born, yadus, in the family of the yadus, ajasya, of the unborn, vartam, topics, sakhe, O my friend, kirtaya, please narrate, tirtha kirte, of the Lord whose glories are chanted in the place of pilgrimage. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the place of pilgrimage. He is unborn, and yet He appears by His causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did He appear in the family of His unalloyed devotees, the Yadus. Purport. There are innumerable rulers all over the universe in different varieties of planets. The sun god is the sun god in the sun planet, the moon god in the moon planet, Indra in the heavenly planet, Vayu, Varuna, and those in the Brahmaloka planet, where Lord Brahma is living. All are obedient servants of the Lord. Wherever there is any trouble in the administration of the innumerable planets in different universes, wherever there is any trouble in the administration of the innumerable planets in the different universes, the rulers pray for an appearance, and the Lord appears. The Bhagavatam 1.3.28 has already confirmed this in the following verse. Ete cham sakala pumsham krishnastu bhagavan swayam indriyari vyakulam lokam mridayanti yuge yuge. In every millennium, whenever there is any trouble for the obedient rulers, the Lord appears. He also appears for the sake of His pure unalloyed devotees. The surrendered rulers and the pure devotees are always strictly under the control of the Lord, and they are never disobedient to the desires of the Lord. The Lord is therefore always attentive to them. The purpose of pilgrimage is to remember the Lord constantly, and therefore the Lord is known as Tirtha Kirti. The purpose of going to a place of pilgrimage is to get the chance to glorify the Lord. Even today, although times have changed, there are still pilgrimages sites in India. For example, in Mathura and Vrindavan, where we had a chance to stay, people are awake from early in the morning at 4 a.m. up until night time, and are constantly engaged some way or the other in chanting the holy glories of the Lord. The beauty of such a pilgrimage site is that automatically one remembers the holy glories of the Lord. His name, fame, quality, form, pastimes, and entourage are all identical to the Lord, and therefore chanting the glories of the Lord invokes the personal presence of the Lord. Anytime or anywhere pure devotees meet and chant the glories of the Lord is present without any doubt. It is said by the Lord Himself that He always stays where His pure devotees chant His glories. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 3rd canto, 1st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by Vidura. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Savadetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyasya कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading the translation one more time. So there is a word comes therefore. So I'll read the previous translation so we get the connection that why here it is mentioned therefore. So the previous verse translation goes like this: the appearance of the Lord is manifested for the annihilation of the upstarts. His activities are transcendental and are enacted for the understanding of all persons. Otherwise, since the Lord is transcendental to all material modes, what purpose could he serve by coming to earth? And today's verse translation: O my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the place of pilgrimage. He is unborn, and yet he appears by his causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did he appear in the family of his unalloyed devotees, the Yadus. First of all, I am very grateful to the temple authorities for giving me this opportunity, because it really helps me to study, as I've been telling all the time. So I'm very, very grateful. And I was not scheduled for this particular day, but it's amazing kindness of the temple authorities and the management on me to giving me this opportunity. And before we start discussing this verse, I sincerely seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas assembled here, and specifically my senior God brothers and God sisters present here or hearing online. Please bless me so that whatever I can speak benefit me, and at the same time, if at all benefits you, that's our bonus today. And I have no qualification specifically to sit on this esteemed Vyasasan, but it is, again, as we see here, the Lord appeared by his causeless mercy. So there is definitely a causeless mercy of the Lord and the devotees that I am sitting here and I have audacity to share my thoughts. So we see here, as Srila Prabhupada explains, or as we see the theme here, Vidurji has been asked to leave from Hastinapur by this wonderful person called Duryodhan. And then Vidurji is going to the different holy places. And then finally he is concluding that it is very, very important that one should chant the glories of the Lord. And in the purport, there are quite interesting things. So we'll try and see how we can... there are actually two themes in this purport. One is that there are different rulers. They have to rule the different planets. And the Lord appears if there is any mismanagement. So there's definitely a purpose of the Lord appearing. That's one definitely a theme. And the second theme is very beautifully Srila Prabhupada writes towards the second part of the purport, that how one can experience the presence of the Lord. Aren't we all interested or looking forward to experience the presence of the Lord? And that is what Srila Prabhupada is going to help us today, to experience the presence of the Lord. So first of all, let's look at the first part of the purport, where Srila Prabhupada says, there are innumerable rulers in the universe for these innumerable planets. Sun god is ruling sun planet, moon god is ruling moon planet, Indra is ruling the heavenly planet, like that. And it is said that there is any problem in the administration, and when these rulers call for the Lord, then the Lord appears. So first of all, we being a human being, right, we feel that this is the only planet, Earth planet, which is actually, as Srila Prabhupada explains, is like a mustard seed in a bag of a mustard seed. Our Earth planet is like that. And then we feel that there are all these planets that we see floating around Earth. We feel there is something out there, so we send our, as in Prabhupada language, Sputnik. We send a rocket or a rover over there and try to get some pictures from there and understand what could be there. Not an intention to do something good, but the intention to how I can even exploit the resources there. Because the resources of the Earth planet very soon is going to get exhausted, as they are predicting. So that let's look at the other planets and figure out, because they feel that these planets are just like that. They are hanging in there. And with the curiosity, they go and excavate and try to find out. And for their surprise, they couldn't see anything. Just some rocks and other things that they just bring it down to the Earth planet. And what to speak of living beings living in those planets. So every planet in the universe has a purpose, right? And the human being is supposed to cooperate with the purpose of the universe and the planets. But on the contrary, what the human being does, they try to exploit. And then they make a mess. And when they make a mess, they feel like, why Lord is not appearing? There is so much of a mess going on in this world. Global warming happening. There is so much wars happening. So much of mismanagement happening. Then why Lord is not appearing? You make a mess and you want Lord to appear. And when we say that Lord appeared 500 years ago, just 500 years ago the Lord appeared in Kali Yuga, then they don't believe it. Then they don't believe it. At one side they say, why Lord is not appearing? And the other side, when the Shastras say, with all the proofs, that the Lord appeared just 500 years ago, they don't believe it. So just see the audacity of the human being, that they want even Lord to appear according to their imagination. Isn't it ridiculous? They say if human being gets wiped out from this Earth planet, the Earth planet will revive its own glory, or the original glory. So the human beings are the one which has made a mess. And they are wondering why the Lord is not appearing. And when we explain that 500 years ago, the Lord appeared in the form of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, we do have their wonderful deity form also here. And sometimes being a devotee, if somebody comes, a newcomer comes, and they have no idea about Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and when they look at the wonderful deities of Gaur Nitai, they're convinced, are they Krishna Balaram? And then, just not to create any confusion more or anything else, they are, we devotee also say sometimes that, they are Krishna Balaram. In reality, yes, they are not different than Krishna Balaram, but I believe we must educate them about Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. It is a responsibility of a devotee not to just have them satisfied with it, they are same as Krishna Balaram. No, they are the most magnanimous incarnation that has appeared. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, right? And many times when people are wondering that why Lord appears, right? So you must hear the class given by Brajraj Priya Prabhu yesterday. If you really want to understand the purpose and when and why Lord appears, you must hear that very beautifully explained, right? And here we see that the purpose of Lord appearing is to annihilate the miscreants and protect the devotees. Right? So there is so much confusion and chaos happening around how the Lord protects the devotees when we see so much atrocities going around. Right? So in that case, if you are really confused about how Lord protects the devotees, then you must hear the class given by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu on Tuesday. Very beautifully explained. How he protected Arjuna and how he protected Draupadi. Right? In a different ways. So very beautifully explained. So coming to the point that the presence of the Lord, right? So Lord appears, the most important thing is He's appearing by His causeless mercy. Parama karuna pahudevi jana nitai gaura chandra. So Lord has appeared by their causeless mercy. And who are they? Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Now how they are annihilating the demons? Because we see and we read in the Shastras that the purpose of the Lord, yada yada hi dharmasya gnanina bhavati bharata abudhyanam adharmasya, right? To whenever there is a decline in religion and then annihilate the demons, the Lord appears. So what kind of demons Lord Chaitanya annihilated? The demons who are residing within our own heart. Within our own heart. When Jagai and Madhai, they were mistreating Lord Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to sever their heads, and Nityananda Prabhu begged to Lord Chaitanya, fell at the feet of Lord Chaitanya and said, if you going to kill Jagai and Madhai, then you might as well kill anybody and everybody. Because there are so much demoniac propensity within everyone's heart. So your purpose of coming to this world, oh my Lord, is to give Krishna Prem. And that's what exactly given to Jagai and Madhai. So can you imagine the most magnanimous, the most amazing incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is none other than Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. The most merciful. And can you imagine how the level of their mercy is unlimited and it's amazing heights of mercy. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya, by his own example, taught us that how a devotee should be. And what a devotee should do to feel the presence of the Lord. As it is being explained by Srila Prabhupada. We all want to feel the presence of the Lord. Once somebody asked a devotee that, have you seen God? He said, I have not seen God, but I have experienced God's hand many times in my life. So here we'll be discussing how to experience the God. How to experience is very simple, as explained by, not explained, demonstrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very simple. Just chant the holy names and discuss and hear Krishna Katha. Very simple. Srila Prabhupada said that Krishna conscious process is so simple that you may miss it. It's so simple. Can you imagine the access to Lord Himself is just few inches away from our beadback. Can you imagine? Not even beadback, you can just chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can experience the Lord. The Lord appears and performs so many leelas. Have you seen ever Lord appearing and coming and destroyed demon and just went back just like that, and there is no other descriptions? We sing this bhajan at the starting of the class, right? Jai Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha. Why Gopi Jana Vallabha? Because there are so many pastimes with the gopis. Girivara Dhari is lifted the Giriraj Govardhan. There are so much imitations. There are advertisements coming nowadays, where they show the person doing a weightlifting and finally he is lifting with his finger like this. And he is having a masculine body. But here, Krishna is just a 7-year-old child. Coming and not lifting some heavy lifting things. He's lifting the mountain. Right? Yashoda Nandana. So he has so many pastimes with Yashoda ji. The whole Damodar month, the whole Kartik month we celebrated that Leela that happened. So beautiful. So why does the Lord does all these Leelas? So that we all conditioned soul can get attracted. We all can get attracted to that. And believe me, if you go and ask every devotee, they will have a different pastime to quote that this is my favorite pastime, this is my favorite Leela. I really love this. And by doing that, what happens? You have actually established that connection with the Lord. And be assured, in the due course of time, you will lose the attraction for the temporary things of this world. Why? Because at least you have got attracted to some Leela of the Lord and some avatars of the Lord. That is the causeless mercy of the Lord. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. And here Lord Chaitanya had come to this world just 500 years ago. And there are so many Leelas of Lord Chaitanya. And if you really want to hear Gaur Leela and really enjoy Gaur Leela, then you must hear the class of Damodar Prabhu. Very beautifully he explained that pastime of Pradyumna Mishra. Hearing Krishna Katha from Ramananda Rai, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended. And you should hear the Gaur Katha from somebody who relishes Gaur Katha. And we see Damodar Prabhu relishes Gaur Katha like anything. And when we hear that, it transforms our heart as well. It transforms our heart as well. So once again, what did Lord Chaitanya taught us? By his own example, chanting the holy names and hearing Krishna Katha. We may wonder, Prabhuji, I have heard this pastime many times. It's once again same thing. We hear the childhood pastimes of Nimai, where Brahmana comes and tries to offer the food. Such a beautiful pastime, right? And we know now the offering is going to get spoiled because Nimai is going to come and eat, and Brahmana will say, hi, like, my offering is spoiled. Oh, I have heard this many times. I know the sequence also. I know what's going to happen in this pastimes, everything. No. You hear it again and again. Have you ever seen somewhere where there is a water dripping on a hard rock? But that water keep on dripping at the same place. It's just a drop of water. It cannot even pierce the softest petals of the flower. But if that water keep on dripping at the same spot on the hard rock, in due course of time, it can make a hole in that hard rock. Similarly, we may feel, chanting Hare Krishna, I have been chanting many times. So many years I have been chanting. So many Krishna Katha, so many times I have heard. What difference it makes? No. It's like that water dripping at the same place. So that hearing the holy names or chanting the holy names and hearing Krishna Katha, discussing Krishna Katha is like that water dropping at the same place on the hard rock covering of ignorance that we have, which is covering our heart. The hard rock which is representing our anarthas. It just keep on dripping at the same place. Believe me, it will make a hole in that covering of ignorance and anarthas, and it will penetrate and give us access, which is the core of our heart. Within there is a love of Godhead. There is a Krishna Prem in everyone's heart. George Harrison writes in the foreword of Krishna book, very beautifully. He says, everyone loves Krishna. Everyone. Some knows, some don't. Everyone loves Krishna. So every one of us has a Krishna Prem within our heart. But the thick covering, the rock-like covering of ignorance and anarthas is not allowing us to access it. Then you may wonder and ask that, okay, but do you have any examples? Somebody who had really penetrated through that covering and accessed the Krishna Prem? Yes, we do have example. And that example is not something of 5,000 years ago or million years ago. That example happened just few decades ago. Our own dear Srila Prabhupada. He writes in that poem that he wrote in Jaladuta. My God, yesterday I was reading, and that is what is required, and that's why I'm so grateful to the temple management for giving me this opportunity. Because when there is when do you think a student become the most serious and the most attentive? If that student is given a chance to play a role of a teacher on the day of a teacher's day. And if that student can be the most, dumb-headed or whatever it is, but if he is given a chance to become a teacher on a teacher's day, that student will study like anything, right? Because he has to present it, right? So similarly, that's my case. So I was reading that poem. I have read that poem probably multiple times in the past, but when I was reading that poem, it was amazing. I humbly request that read that poem in solitude. Just go in your room or wherever where you find, just by yourself. There is no one else, just you and that poem. Read that poem, and you will get the presence, you will experience the presence of the Lord through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. In that Jaladuta, Srila Prabhupada writes, I'm just not going to describe the whole poem, but the last stanza, which writes, Srila Prabhupada says, I have no devotion, I have no knowledge, but I have a faith in the holy name. Can you imagine how that can come across? How that is possible? Because he has practiced that. And he has experienced that. That's why he says, I have a faith in the holy name. And that's why Srila Prabhupada could penetrate through that heart covering and access that Krishna Prem. And his heart was flooded with Krishna Prem. That's how he could give Krishna Prem to the entire world. Can you imagine? How is it possible? One person giving Krishna Prem to entire world. It's unbelievable. But it happened. It's possible. And this example, as I'm saying, is not some million years ago. It happened so recently. And whoever came in contact with Srila Prabhupada also got the drops of that Krishna Prem. It all depends on our covering. How thick our covering is. We see Gaur Govinda Swami coming in contact of Srila Prabhupada. Immediately, he took sannyas, and it's not that he got attracted to Prabhupada. He completely surrendered his life. And this is not the only example. There are so many examples where people came in contact with Srila Prabhupada. There are millions of people who got attracted to Srila Prabhupada, right? But there are many people who completely surrendered to Srila Prabhupada, depending on our covering. Even today also, we have access to the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and they also carry that Krishna Prem in their heart. You come in contact with them, and if you work on this particular aspect of chanting the holy names and hearing Krishna Katha and discussing Krishna Katha, then sure enough, we will be able to penetrate that hard covering of ignorance and anarthas, and we will be able to access that Krishna Prem, which is existing in our own heart. It is possible. It is possible. How it is possible? There is another katha which comes. Ajamil. Ajamil chanted 4-letter word Narayan, and 4 Vishnu Dutas came. And he was not chanting Narayan to call out Narayan. He was chanting Narayan to call his son, who is named Narayan. And can you imagine? The Vishnu Dutas came. And we all know the life of Ajamil is full of sins. There's a wonderful drama being enacted on that, right? Even Yamadutas getting confused. that how this person is so sinful is being saved just by chanting once Narayan. That's the power of the holy name. That's the power of the holy name. But what we feel, oh, maybe I am more fallen than Ajamil. I don't think so that's the case. But I think we feel, oh, Ajamil is an exceptional case. It just happened just like that. By mistake it happened. I don't think so it is going to happen with me or anyone else now. So what is the price we have to pay if we really want to penetrate that hard rock covering of ignorance and anarthas and to access our heart which is filled with Krishna Prem? Is faith. The only thing required, the price that we have to have is faith. And that will be developed in the association of the devotees who have the faith. You will not be able to buy faith on Amazon or Flipkart. You have to be in the association of the devotees who have that faith, and they can give you that faith. And once you have that faith, and when you chant the holy names, believe me, it will happen. I know it is very theoretical. It is completely theoretical for me. But I know one thing, that if I go on talking about this, if I go on hearing about this, one day for sure, I will also develop that same faith which will help me to penetrate through that covering and give me access to that beautiful Krishna Prem, which everyone is longing for. Everyone is longing for. And the second, another aspect that is being called out here is Tirtha. We recently have visited Mayapur Dham. You all have gone to the pilgrimage. Right? It was so wonderful and so amazing. Here, Srila Prabhupada writes about Vrindavan and Mathura. And I would like to read that statement. That's what I like about the purports of Srila Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada is so humble and so sweet. So Srila Prabhupada writes, for example, in Mathura and Vrindavan, where we had a chance to stay. So can you imagine, Srila Prabhupada writes, we had a chance to stay. Srila Prabhupada is writing that. That means Srila Prabhupada was staying in Vrindavan and Mathura. And he has observed all these things. So, I don't know how many of you have actually felt the potency of the Dham. If you see, Dham and the pure devotee, they are like the cup filled to the brim. If you go closer to them, then there is a high chance that some drops will fall on you because it's almost filled to the brim. It's just overflowing. Right? So the only thing you have to do is go closer to the Dham. Not just physically. Of course you have to be physically there. But in consciousness also you have to go closer to the Dham in order to access that mercy. Access that mercy. So I don't know how many of you have actually felt when we were in Mayapur. I was just wondering, we are going to the different places, Srivas Angan, Yoga Pit, Chaitanya Math, and lot of things, the places we visited. And just within the fraction of 2 seconds or maybe a minute or two, or some places maybe you are able to sit there and chant one round and things like that. And I was wondering, is it possible to access the potency of the Dham? Honestly speaking, I confess, I was not able to access that potency of the Dham. And when I was reading through that, I was wondering, what is required to access the potency of the Dham? Or to connect with the Dham? Let's say if you are going by a auto or on a motorcycle. You're going at the speed of 40 or 60, right? You're going at that speed. And once you reach a destination, then your friend says, have you seen a beautiful bird sitting on that tree at that particular junction? Is it possible for that person to observe that? There is a beautiful bird sitting on that tree, he said. He said, no, I didn't observe. Why he didn't observe? Because he is going at the speed of 40 and 60. What can you see? You have to slow down. You have to slow down, and sometimes there is so camouflaged that you can't even if the I don't know, have you tried to see a parrot in a tree? It becomes very difficult. Somebody says, there is a parrot, and you have to really focus so much to point, oh yes, there is a parrot in the tree. Now we are going at the speed of 40, 60 in our life, in our mind, and we expect ourselves to access the potency of Dham. How is it possible? First of all, you have to slow down. You have to sit at one place physically and have your mind also sit at that place. And then you really have to beg. You really have to beg to the Holy Dham that please, please reveal. Please allow me to access a fraction of the potency that this particular place has. And when you do that, then only we'll be able to access something. Otherwise, it's not possible. We may go, every month we may go, or every day we may go to the holy place. But if we are not able to slow down or have our mind sit down at one place and focus and beg, otherwise it's not possible. It's not possible. So we were at Mayapur, and then I was so grateful and thankful that our Yatra committee organizes different places that we visit. But it's not just the visit, there is actually Katha also happens, so that you are actually given what is the potency of this place, the descriptions of that. So that really helps us to see the Dham. You can see the Dham with your eyes, that's one thing, but the real way to see the Dham is through your ears, as they explain it. Right? So Bhakti Prachar Parivrajak Swami explained beautiful thing in his class at Nandan Acharya's home. So I'll just state that as we are talking about the importance of the Dham. So if at all we want to go to Mayapur, and I believe that acronym will applicable to any Dham. If you really want to access the potency of the Dham, if you do this, 100% guarantee that we will be able to access it for sure. So he explained what Mayapur stands for. So M stands for meet and hear from devotees. So if you go to the holy place, and if you don't meet a devotee, if you don't meet sadhus, and if you do not hear from them, then you will not be able to understand and access the potency of the Dham. It's practically impossible. That's why we see the theme of Radha Gopinath Yatra is more of hearing from sadhus. That will really help us to access the potency of the Dham. M, and then A, right? Accept Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's easy for us to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Lord Chaitanya many times, Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Accept it. M-A. Why? Yearn for services. When we go to the Dham, we just wonder, oh, nice prasadam is given to us, or figure out where we can get all these facilities and things like that. No, that is fine, that you may have to do it. But the important thing is yearn for service. If you really want to access the potency of the Dham, if you want Dham to reveal to you, you need to serve. Without that, it's not possible. So yearn to serve. A, again A, M-A-Y-A. Again, A stands for avoid offenses. Very, very important. If you are in the Dham and you are offending devotees, committing offenses, no matter what you do, Dham will not reveal to you. The potency you cannot access at all. So we have to be very, very careful and avoid the offenses. P. P stands for praise the Dham and the Dhamvasis.
So that is what it also being called out here. Glorify the Lord, glorify the Dham, because Dham is the extension of the Lord. Glorify the Dham. Glorify the Dham verses. Can you imagine the people who are living in that Dhams are so fortunate? It's not just that by chance they are living there. It is such an amazing mercy of the Lord on them that they are able to stay in the Dham. So we have to appreciate and praise Dhamvasis. You stands for understand you're insignificant. If you're going to the Dham and if you feel that I'm somebody, that's it, you're done. You will not be able to access the potency of the Dham. You have to understand that I am insignificant. I'm insignificant. And with that mood, if you approach the Dham, then sure enough, the Dham will reveal. It's very, very important. And R stands for recognize our great fortune. Isn't it our great fortune to go to these holy places, that too in the association of the devotees? Just we feel that, oh, I bought the ticket and I got an accommodation, everything, I can do things. And we feel that, oh yeah, what's a big deal? No. Understand and recognize that it is our great fortune that we are allowed to visit Dhams. It's not by our own endeavor we can go. Srila Prabhupada said many times, it's not that you go to Vrindavan by buying a ticket. It's definitely the mercy and the blessings of the devotees and the Lord that we are able to go to these Dhams in the association of the devotees. That is our great fortune. That is our great fortune. So it's a very simple process. Chanting the holy names and discussing Krishna Katha. Hearing Krishna Katha. That's why you see any temple of ISKCON in any part of the world, even though there is a one person, if there is nobody, sometimes some of the ISKCON temples, for whatever reason, now they are in the far remote areas and in the foreign place. If there is a one person, still the Bhagavatam class will go on. Can you imagine? And can you imagine the person who is reading the Bhagavatam, and if there is only one person, if there is nobody, can you imagine the purification and the mercy that person is receiving? Just because he is following the instructions of his Guru. It is really amazing. We are so fortunate. It's not that we are boasting so much about ISKCON, but can you imagine if Srila Prabhupada would not have been there, who will be there to give us this Krishna Prem? Forget about it. Who will even given us the understanding of Krishna Prem? Today there are thousands and thousands of temples or centers. Right? So many temples, so many devotees. How is that possible? Just because one person took that risk of going to America. Of course, there is a whole Acharya and the Parampara is behind Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada is the one who took that risk going to America. I'm sure, if we are talking about so many adventurous people and everyone, but who will be more adventurous than our Srila Prabhupada? Nothing. He did not know whether he has to go left or right after getting down from the Jaladuta or coming to the New York City. There are so many things happen. We read in Leela Amrita. But because of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to experience the presence of the Lord. Because he gives such an amazing process. So simple. The only problem, as I said, is our mind and our faith. If we just go on strengthening our faith, and with that faith, if we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and go on describing the glories of the Lord and discussing the glories of the Lord, believe me, one day we will achieve Krishna Prem without fail. So please have that faith. And with that faith, if we go and chant, the miracle will happen. The mercy of the Lord will shower upon all of us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments, we may have 2 minutes or so. So any corrections also, please do so, because I have spoken definitely beyond my realization. So if there are any corrections, any questions, then please. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.